Welcome back to another episode of the Clear the Screen podcast. I am Melissa Deely.
And I am Billie Adme, and this is where anxiety ends and abundance begins. I'm excited to talk about what we're going to talk about. We don't have a special guest today. However, we have a special topic today, something that Melissa and I are super passionate about. It's obviously what we teach. It's all about the mind and how to use it. And today we're going to talk about not just one mind. We're going to talk about all three minds. As you know, we have three minds. It's not as much as we think our little thinking mind is the only mind that we have. That is what limits us in doing what we can do to the infinite capacity that we have within us. If you've ever been to any of our trainings, you know that we talk about our three minds.
And if you want to go back to episode 28 of this podcast, we introduced it when we talked about the three minds and the four bodies. And today we are talking specifically about the three minds because Billie had this incredible download as to how this all fits into our work.
We bring a lot of sacred geometry into what we do because if any of you have really studied how the universe works, a lot of it is shapes and how they all get put together. And if you've come to our Meet Your Unconscious Mind webinar, we introduced to you the sacred geometry of the Vesica Piscis. And that was how we used the three minds to access and open the doorway to the infinite wisdom that we all have and the resources that we already have available to us to complete whatever our mission is here in this lifetime. So as I was really, doing some work about the minds, which the three minds are the conscious mind, right? That's our lovely little thinky mind that runs most of our day that we think. We have our unconscious mind that runs our body and has all the programming and all the strategies and really runs 95% of our day because we're not really thinking about how we cook or how we drive or how we go to the bathroom or how we brush our teeth. That's all unconscious. And then the third mind, which is really the most powerful of them all, is what we call the higher self, or some people call it the higher conscious mind. There's lots of names for it. So those three minds, when we talk about the Vesica Piscis, is that the unconscious mind is the doorway in to the capacity of the higher conscious mind, which is literally the infinite possibilities of what we can do. Now, as you know, in our trainings, we focus on how do you access the unconscious mind? Because that's the doorway. What we want to talk about today is that one is no more important than the other because one cannot work without the other. And that's where the Mind Trinity comes in. So if you've ever heard, there's threes of everything, right? There's always, the whether it's the three minds, the conscious, the unconscious, or the higher self, whether it's the mind, the body, the spirit, whether, there's certain religions, it's, or psychology, it's the ego, the id and the superego, or, there's the Holy Ghost and the body and the spirit. There's so many different threes in the universe. The triangle, and as you can see, it's actually in our logo, there's a trinity in there. Those three, like the triangle, is the most powerful shape that there is geometrically, because it is so solid and it doesn't matter what side it's on, it is so solid. So that really got me thinking of when we put the three minds together, that's where we tap into our infinite power, our infinite possibilities of what we can do and how we can create the world that we want. And I'm sure you've heard this, it's such a cliche that, live your highest potential and be your best self. And, you have their infinite possibilities in the universe. People don't really understand what that means. And one of the things we teach is when you have those three working together, that's where you access that point of infinite possibilities. And what do we mean by working together? Now, you've heard of say that, and you've probably experienced this where, you make a goal, right? Okay, I'm going to make X amount of dollars this year, or I'm going to lose X amount of weight, or I'm going to find the relationship of my dreams, right? And think of that little, the angel on your shoulder, right? Oh yes, Billie, let's go do it. Let's make all the money and get it best shape and find the best relationship. And then we have our little, devil on this side. Well, are you smart enough? Are you good enough? Are you pretty enough? Are you fill in the blank enough? Right? And that little devil is always like, need. And this is where these, limiting beliefs and all these unresolved emotions come in, which is why one of our modalities that we teach, timeline therapy, helps get rid of that noise, right? So they're both playing for the same team. Now that's the conscious and the unconscious. So once these two fellows or fellas or ladies, or however you want to call them, are working together, have you ever been in flow when you're like, you know what? I thought of something and I did it and it just showed up. That's because they're working together. And when they're working together, that's when the higher self is like, beautiful. Billie's in alignment. Let's bring her the resources that she needs to gain her goals and achieve her dreams and do all the things that she wants. That's what we call true alignment. Now, alignment is there's really cool buzzword out there. Oh, I just want to be in alignment. The amount of people that I have seen say the word, yet they are so fighting with each other, which is going to be one of our episodes about why we fight with each other. It's we create parts. So stay tuned for that episode. We create problems. And that problem is that our minds are just like, our unconscious mind wants to serve. Okay? We teach this as well, that think of your unconscious mind as this cute little toddler. The way that we want to speak to our toddler is not the way that we're going to speak to, our spouse or our business partner. We want to speak to them with love and compassion and sweetness and be like, yes, come on, this is what we're going to do. When they're working together, that true alignment is now, okay, we're on the path of our soul's true path or north node, however you want to call it, or North Star. And now the universe is like, good, let's bring those resources because they were already there for you to get you on your path and get you where you need to go, right? Because we all need resources to get, whether it's time, money, energy, people, places, things. We need things to get there. Melissa and I have experienced this so many times where we have said something out there to the universe because we are in alignment in what our mission is. We are, we do our work. We walk the walk. We don't just talk the talk. We embody this work and we say it and literally resources show up. And we used to be like, holy crap, that was cool. Well, that's a coincidence. And we know this enough, right, Melissa, now that we're like, yep, we just say it and the resources come. Right? You've experienced that. Sitting next to a plane on someone, whether we're meeting them in our travels or, someone reaches out to us. We had so many.
Absolutely. And it does. And we think it's coincidence. And yet we know it isn't coincidence. And when it happens, we're always so grateful that it happens. And now we've done this work enough to recognize, yes, thank you, universe, for putting this person in my path right now where I'm looking for this resource. And everybody's experienced this at some point in their life. Even if it's just, you have a problem in your life and you're thinking and you're thinking and you're thinking about it and you can't come up with a solution. And then all of a sudden you're in the shower and the answer comes to you. Because you stopped thinking about it. Because you allowed yourself to get into your other mind, your unconscious mind, which if you've been to any of our trainings or workshops, you will hear us say that the conscious mind is our goal setter, and then our unconscious mind is our goal getter. It's going and getting the resources and bringing them to you. And so it comes to you as an aha or a download. Here's the answer, or here's a solution to this problem that you're thinking and thinking and thinking about. And we've all experienced that. And it happens from time to time. What we're teaching here is when you understand how your minds work and how you can bring them into alignment so that your unconscious mind and your conscious mind are playing for the same team, that you can access those resources anytime you want. It's not just a matter of, oh, it happens when I'm in the shower, or it happens when I'm driving, or it happens when I'm asleep, because those are the times of the day when I stop thinking and I let my unconscious mind take over. And the unconscious mind is the pathway to those resources. We have to work with the unconscious mind to be able to access them. We can't do it consciously. Our little 10% conscious mind doesn't have the capacity to be able to access the resources. It helps set the goal, it doesn't gain access to the resources.
As you guys know, well, some of you may know that, one of the principles we teach also is the 3 principles about, mind, consciousness, and thought. And we know that everything starts with a thought. Think about it. Everything in your life started with a thought, whether it's your job, your relationship, your business, anything starts with a thought. And so those thoughts are conscious, right? Because that's our thinking mind. We think with our thinking mind, which is the conscious mind. Now, when we think the thought, we're actually putting that thought up into the quantum field, which is where the unconscious mind lives. So again, we always say, and if you haven't come to our trainings, we're giving you a lot here, but what we teach is you get what you focus on. So if your thoughts have been focusing on the chaos that's happening in the world right now, it's likely that you're getting a lot of chaos in your life, right? Because that's what you are instructing the unconscious mind to go get. The unconscious mind it's impersonal. It's just going to serve. Whatever you say, it's going to do it. And so a lot of our trainings is to focus on what you want, clear those filters so that you're putting out positive thoughts so you're getting back what you want. Go ahead, Melissa. I know you were going to say something.
You probably have a friend that is always complaining about everything going wrong in their life. And the reality is everything is going wrong in their life because that's what they're focusing on with every time they repeat the story to someone about it. And they're not focusing on how is this happening for me? What am I supposed to learn in order to move through the problem and get to the other side? They're just stuck on the problem. And therefore, that's where their focus is, so they get more of it.
See, most people don't know how to think. They react emotionally from a place of their triggers, of their unresolved emotions, of their traumas. I mean, it's clear to see in the world right now how people are operating from their traumas. And so that's what they're thinking about. As Melissa just explained, when you're thinking all these negative things, and it's very easy, don't get me wrong, it's very easy to have those kinds of thoughts because it's all over the news. That's why we don't watch the news anymore. We're very careful about what we allow into our environment, because anything that happens in our environment, our unconscious mind believes it's happening to us, right? Whether you're hearing it from someone else, that's why I'm actually very careful about the conversations I even have with some people. And I'll be quietly saying to myself, cancel, cancel, cancel. That's not for my unconscious mind to take. That's their story. That's their model of the world. I don't want my unconscious mind to think that because I don't want that be put up into my quantum field. Now, some of this work that we teach is that this button that gets pushed, when people are reacting emotionally, how do we get rid of those triggers, right? So that the thought process automatically goes to something positive as opposed to something negative, right? And we do that in reframing. That's why we teach neuro-linguistic programming. It's all a pattern interrupt and a massive reframe. How can we shift it from this is happening to us to this is happening for us, right? This is what we say is our journey from victim island to solution city. Is everything is happening for us. So yes, there's chaos in the world. And if I can ask myself, what am I learning from this situation? We can change how we think. So when we can learn how to think properly, we can access that mind trinity to create what we want, not what we don't want. And I'm sure you've heard when you're talking to people or you're talking to friends, they're great. They can easily tell you what they don't want, right? I used to be there. I can't believe this happened. I don't want. I was talking this morning about there's some challenges coming up with the banking that I'm dealing with. Okay, how is this happening for me? Well, I realized that, okay, maybe this is not the way that I need to operate. I can shift, right? And it's so easy to get caught in that and say, I don't want this. Well, let's focus on what do you want? Well, I want X, Y, Z. And then take the action steps to do what you need to do to get there. Right? We all know the people, the Debbie Downers that just sit there and complain. And then we ask, well, what are you doing about it? Nothing. I can't do anything about it. Oh, it's just too big a problem, right? Talk about victim island. I'm only saying this because I used to be there. So back to this mind trinity. When you learn how to access all 3 of your minds and make them work together, not just one or the other. When you're using your conscious mind, we use this analogy a lot, that when you are just using your conscious mind, and bless those coaches out there that are just doing conscious coaching, through accountability and willpower, it's going to run out. Think of driving a car in first gear on the highway. It's going to burn out. And that's what we mean, that your willpower will just, it'll burn the system down. It'll get burnt out. If you learn how to access your unconscious mind, that's like moving into fifth and sixth gear. You're firing on, full cylinders. Now imagine 6 cylinders in a Honda compared to 6 cylinders in a Ferrari. That's what happens when you are firing all and you have the most, whether you like fill in like Lamborghini, Bugatti, whatever your beautiful, sports car is. I like Aston Martins. That's my car. You're like, I want to fire all cylinders in my Aston Martin because now I'm going to be flying down the highway, roof down, hair blowing in the wind, and I am going to be just flowing through life. That's where I want to get to. And that's when life is flowing for me. So when you are only using one piece of this, that's you're limiting yourself. And the unfortunate thing is most of us don't know this. I didn't. When I first got into this work, I actually got in, through a hypnotherapist, and I felt so different after one session. And I asked her, why do I feel so different? And she said, we tapped into your unconscious mind. I literally was like, what does that mean? What do you mean? Because I just thought of my unconscious mind just ran my body. I thought that was its job. I didn't know it did all these other things. I didn't know it had access to all the limiting beliefs and the programs and the trauma. I had no idea. And the curious cat that I am, I was like, if it happened in one session, what else is possible? And now, my friends, oh boy, I have uncovered a fraction of what we can do. And it is beyond my wildest expectations. And the saying that says we are more than we can think, if you really took that to heart, and I'm sure you've heard, you don't know what you don't know. The more I learn in this work, the more I realize I don't know. And so if this has just opened up a little bit of curiosity in you, we invite you to dig deeper, dive in. There is an endless amount of knowledge, of wisdom that is available to you, whether it's through our trainings. I know these trainings, the way we set them up is a really beautiful way to open just a little bit at a time. Open your neurology, open your model of the world, not to the point where your brain starts oozing out of your ears, kind of how I started. I don't recommend that. It blows up your whole model of the world really fast. The way that we structured our trainings is just to open your awareness, open your consciousness, expand your neurological pathways in a way that is gentle, is beautiful, is lasting, and it's so transformative. So if anything has triggered your curiosity just a little bit, like, I wonder how much of my unconscious mind I'm using, or I wonder if I'm even accessing my higher self. That is the universe saying to you right now, keep going. That's the breadcrumb that has been left for you to follow the thread to start accessing more of your gifts and your wisdom.
And just, if you're curious, come to our next Meet Your Unconscious Mind workshop. The registration link is in the show notes. It's free. It's a 2-hour session to introduce you to the power that you contain within your mind. And as Billie said earlier, we're not taught this. I didn't know this when I was in the corporate world. She didn't know this when she was in policing. We're not taught this through the school system. And none of it is rocket science. Literally, we could teach this to kindergartners. Billie teaches this to her elementary school age children. You just need to know what is available to you and how much more is available to you and how simple the tools are to use. And so who doesn't want to know how to access more through their own brain, own mind? I don't know. If that's you, then you're listening to the wrong podcast. Everybody else that's here because you want to grow and learn, join us at our next Meet Your Unconscious Mind workshop and share this with other people in your life that also would like to grow and understand how to tap into the full power of our own mind.
Full power of the Mind Trinity. Use it. It's there for you. It's been given to you for a reason. The universe, God, source, however you want to call it, did not give you this capacity for you to limit yourself. This has been given to you for you to fulfill your greatest soul's mission and evolution in this lifetime. And it's there for you. You just have to learn how to use it.
If you are enjoying this content on this podcast, we'd love to invite you to join us at our next Meet Your Unconscious Mind workshop.
At this workshop, you'll get to experience and meet and greet the other 90% of your mind, our beautiful unconscious mind. It'll be super fun. It's experiential. You'll get to experience a live demo of the anxiety clearing exercise as well.
Just click the link below in the show notes and go ahead and register. We look forward to seeing you there. If you want to go deeper, scan the QR code, check out our Light Circle membership. This is a community where it's going to serve you and uplift you and empower you, because when you end your anxiety, that's where your abundance begins. And when you can amplify you, then you can impact others. Hi, this is Michelle Abraham from the High Vibe Podcast Network. We are honored to have Billie and Melissa's show clear the screen on our network. For more amazing shows just like theirs, head on over to highvibepodcastnetwork.com.